So in today's session, we are discussing about brushes. Okay, you have seen others paint, right? Or in videos and everything on Instagram, you have seen, or in YouTube tutorials, you would have seen like a lot of paintings happening, right? So in this class, we will be I will be introducing you to the different types of brushes. Mainly, you can use it in acrylic painting or oils or watercolors, but mainly I focus on acrylic painting. So with my experience in acrylic painting, I'll giving you the tips and tricks. Okay. Going on to all you need to know about brushes. Okay. So in this class, we will be mainly dealing with different types of brushes. Then I will show you a live demo on how to use different brushes. Then the last part is, how to take care of your brushes. And finally, we have the question answer session. So let's see what are the different kinds of brushes. When it comes to the different types of brushes, so going on to the shape of bristles, like I told you, there is a round brush, flat brush, bright brush, filbert, fan, angle, linear, mop brushes. Now I'm going to show you in this picture the different kind. So in this, you can see, like I just showed you before, we have the round brush. Then going on to the flat brush, the ends are flat. And bright brushes, they are kind of like a short flat brush, okay? Then we have the filbert brush. It looks like a cat's paw, okay? And then we have the fan brush, the angle brush. So angle brush is again a flat brush, which is like cut into an angle. Then we have a mop brush or a large round brush, okay, like a makeup brushes, okay? Then we have a detail brushes or the rigger brush. It's called as the detail, the thin one which I showed you, right? So these are the detail brushes, very, very thin detail ones, okay? Now, like I told you before, we have like different sizes, okay? Different sizes, there is small brushes. Small brushes, the size or the number written on the brush will be like 000 or up to 4. Up to number 4, it will be small. And we can use such size brushes in the round or flat for more detailed work. Okay, smaller the size, more detailed the work. Then when you come to the medium size brushes. Okay, in the medium size brushes will be from 6 to 12, and they are good for giving more filling in, or doing more larger areas, not the wide background areas, but more medium sized or mid sized areas. Okay, so that is 6 to 12 is the size. And then going on to the large brushes. Large brushes, like we saw the mop brushes, right? Mop brushes or the large flat brushes, like you can see, not like how the painters use, but similar ones, okay? So that is for size 14 and above. They are large brushes, mainly for the blending of large paintings or for large areas when you want to do the backgrounds. So these are based on the sizes we have, small, medium, and large, okay? So for starters, you can just get a small set of maybe 6 to 7 brushes with different brush size, and then try it out and then find out which is the best fit for you. So you might, if you are a person working on smaller scale work, maybe like in A4, A5 size. A5 is like this, this size, okay? Like a journal size. Then you can go for more of smaller brushes, that is 004 to medium size brushes. Okay. But if you're going to work on large canvases, you can go for the medium to larger size brushes. So all this depends on your personal preferences. Okay. So next time you go to an art store, you can, observe these things, the different numbers. What are bristles? So they are basically the small filaments or fibers that arise from the brush head. So these are the bristles, and based on the material that they are made up of, you can have natural bristles or synthetic bristles. Both of them have different purposes. So let's see. So you can see in this image more of a natural shade. Okay, the whiter ones are the natural bristles, and they are made of animals like hog, sable, squirrel, goat, or and they are very soft, very delicate because it's natural, right? And they hold more of paint, and they often used for oil and watercolors. Okay, but they are more delicate and very expensive. And they're mainly used in oils and watercolors where you need a lot of pigments to be held onto the paintbrush. Okay, but when we come to our acrylic paint, you can go for the not so expensive synthetic brushes. Okay, so synthetic brushes are made from synthetic material or like plastic materials. You can actually feel the difference when you hold both. Okay. put in materials to clean it. Okay, so this you can only do for synthetic brushes because they're more resistant brushes, whereas natural brushes, are like very delicate and they tend to get spoiled very fast. You can keep on buying brushes because even if it gets spoiled, it's not that expensive. Okay, but yeah, if you can, take care of your brushes, you can use it for a longer time. And also another point is that even the used up old brushes are good to go in certain techniques. Okay, clear, right? Yeah. So I will show you how to use this brush. So keep a damp, like a cloth with you. So, when you're working, you can just damp it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to wet my bristles a bit. You can see it's a bit wet. So not that is overloaded with water, but it is just wet enough. Okay. I'm just going to leave it here so that I can load paint. Just using, I use this brand Monte Mate, which is, I like the consistency and the flow of the paint and the pigment color. Okay, so just loading the paint. I'll just load 3 colors so that I can show it to you during the demo. We have yellow, red. I'm just going to use a bit of green. Now, coming on to loading of the brush, try to, just put it in, just swipe it on the palette to see how the flow of the paint is. I can see it's a good enough flow. I'll just load a bit. So since this is a very small brush, we can only load very little paint on it. Okay. Now, detail brushes you can use for fine detailing, like you want to give an outline for something, or you want to give stippling for stippling means doing small circles. Okay. Very quick. So I'm going to show you. So see, it's now, can you see a mistake that happened here? The paint is not flowing enough. So what I can do is I can add a little bit more water. Just swipe it. Okay. And then pull. Now you can see how the paint is flowing better when you add a little bit of water. Okay. So this is one brush stroke that you can practice with your detail brush. Another thing is called stippling. Stippling is just, putting small dots. This you can for fine details in a flower, bed if you the sorry the bud of the flower if you want to give. So such fine details or very small details that you want to give, you can give, or some texture on a small work that you're doing. Such small details you can give with your detail brush. Okay. So I think you can see how I'm loading the paint and how I'm placing it. So you get a certain understanding of how to load and work out your paints. Okay. Now you will understand more only when you try it for yourself. So I'll go on to the next brush. Next brush is a medium size. So I think this was like a 7 or 8. I don't remember because it's a very old brush. You can see that I've used it a lot, but still, I'm still able to use it. Maybe you can see how, not 5, maybe 3. Yeah. This is a medium sized brushes. And a medium sized brush is a very versatile brush because you can do a lot of things with a round brush. Okay. So let's see what we can do with a round brush. Again, first step, I always load my brush. Okay. Then I'm just, using the cloth and removing any excess water. If you feel like, your paints are drying too fast, you can get a spray bottle and keep on spraying here. But I'm just going to add water. Okay. Okay. So here also what you can do is you can fill in large areas. So you can see 300 GSM sheet. So you can see how thick this is a texture paper. So you can go for large blending areas, however you want to, large areas if you want to fill in large areas. Another thing is when you want to do these petals, okay, petal for flowers, you can keep the pointy tip, okay, first, and then just smoothen it out like this. Or if you want to do it the other way, you can just tip it and then push it, okay. These are some of the brush strokes that you can try with a round brush, okay. Another thing is curves. Any designs or any patterns you can use with a round brush. Okay. Then, like we told the earlier, stippling, if you want more larger rounds, keep your brush a bit more perpendicular. Okay. See, how a bigger rounds are coming because the diameter is bigger. Okay. Then we have the normal line itself. You can pull off with a this thing, but you can see how it's a little bit more thicker than the detail brush, the lines that come. Okay. So whenever you feel your paint is drying, you add a little bit more water and you pull it. Okay. So these are some of the strokes. So just having a medium brush, you can, get so many of these strokes done. Okay. So stippling, doing a petals or covering large areas or curves or details, anything you can use the medium size round brush. Okay. Now, going on to the flat brush. Okay, so I've taken a flat brush. Here also I've used it plenty. So I think this will be kind of again six to seven range medium size brush. Okay, this is a medium size flat brush. Okay, now again I'm going to be wetting my paintbrush, just dabbing off the extra. Okay, loading paint. So I just load the paint. And flat brushes are very good for giving, covering large areas. Okay. So yeah, you can see how you can cover this whole block in such a short time. Yeah. Okay. So that is one good thing about the flat brush. Another thing is you can use it to create lines. Okay. Yeah. See what a fine line we get similar to a detailed brush when we use the edge of a flat brush. Okay. And then we can also try out different textures. These are called cross hatching, where you give crisscross, crisscross. Okay. So these are certain techniques that you can, do with your flat brush. And finally, in this segment, there is this is the angular brush. Okay. So the angular brush you can see here, just a little angulated. So these are not very expensive brushes. So their form could, distort fast. And I'll give you techniques on how to reshape these brushes. Okay. So I just used them recently. So this is a medium size angular brush. And again, you wet the brush, take a bit of paint, then go ahead and pull small lines. This also is very good for bringing out lines. Another good use of it is stippling. Okay, or you want to do some curve kind of designs and all. Okay, so what we have covered right now are four brushes. One is the detail brush, the round brush, the flat brush, and the angular brush. So going on to the fan brush, I'm going to be using green for this. Just making sure that the edge of the bristles come live, okay? Just adding a bit of water. Yeah, it's good to go. So sometimes the bristles stick together, but that's absolutely fine, depending on what you want to do. So right now I'm going to show you two things to make two simple trees with this fan brush, okay? So let's just start with stippling, okay? You can use this for trees or bushes or grass, especially in your landscape painting. So you can see how easily you're getting that rough, okay? So the more water you add, the more fluid it becomes. If it's more dry, you will get a better, you know. So within 2 seconds, you get a tree. Okay, I'll show you. Yeah. So this is one way to use the fan brush. Another tree which I like to do with my fan brush is a pine tree. Okay. For this, what I do is First, I create the, I hope you can see now. Yeah. So I create the center of the pine tree. Then I just using the edge, okay, I'm using this corner of the paintbrush, I just dab and create, you can see I'm recreating a leaf effect, smaller sized working surface like what I'm doing right now. Okay. Okay. So that'll be good enough. Yeah. And that is how you use a fan brush to create trees or mimic the leaves. Okay. I'm going to just add in a bark. I've mixed green and red. Now, green and red are like opposite or opposite colors in the color wheel. So when you mix them together, you will get a very dark shade. Instead of using black or browns, I'm just mixing it so that it is homogeneous with our colors that we use. Okay. So here also, you can see we've gotten kind of like a brown when I mixed both these colors. Okay. Just using the detail brush here. Okay. Give some branches. Yeah. Maybe you can just add in a bit of green on top of the branches to hide the branches, give a shade effect. Okay. So how easily did we create a tree with the fan brush? So, you know, knowing how to use different brushes for different techniques is very crucial so that you can get these effects very quickly. Okay, so another good thing about fan brush is you can also cover large areas. Okay, so if I want to, cover large areas, see how quickly within 1 second I created the base of the tree. So you can cover large areas also with the fan brush. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you how to do a you can do blending in different methods, but I'm going to just show you like one technique on how you can do the blending. Okay. So first, I'm going to use a medium sized brush. Okay. So this is one particular technique just to show you how you can create a gradient effect between two. I'm going to use the red and the yellow that I've placed. Okay. So we already have a brush that we used for yellow. So I'm just going to take that, sorry, for red. Okay. Make sure that there's adequate amount of water. Yeah, great. Next, I'm just going to wet my next brush. Going to use yellow. Okay. I'm going to leave at the junction. I'm just going to leave it like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a large round brush. Okay, I'm going to use a large round brush which is dry. Okay, till now I have been wetting on my paintbrush, but for this blending technique, I'm going to just leave the brush dry. And I'm just going to smoothen it out. Okay. Okay. So I use this technique to blend. Sometimes I use this technique. There are a lot of other techniques too, but you can see, how you've got a blend. Okay. Now, if you feel like, it's too much of red has come in, you can obviously always give it a second layer of yellow and then blend it too. So You see how we got a beautiful blend, transition blend between the red and yellow? Okay. So going on, how to take care of your brushes, okay? While painting, how can you take care of your brushes? So while painting, what you can do is always, so I've been using my glass to, as soon as I finish my painting, I just put it in. But don't put your brushes in for too long because the brushes could distort in shape, okay? They could distort in shape. So what you can do is, as soon as you're done with one brush, you can place it in. Don't put pressure and then, distort the brush bristles at the bottom of the cup. Instead, just, swipe it like this slowly, okay? Just swipe it slowly. And once you're done washing that, just use a cloth and, dry it, okay? When if you put it in water for too long, the adhesive disintegrates and the bristles start to fray. Okay, so keep that in mind uh, while you're painting, how you can clean your brushes. Okay, dab off the water and lay it flat on the surface. Okay, don't again like don't always put pressure on your brushes by keeping it in some container like this. This is going to distort the brush. Always try to store it like this way. Going on to after painting. Okay, so after painting, uh how should you once you're done with your uh whole painting, what you can do is you can use a mild soap like a Dove soap. Okay, just if you want, you can use Dove soap and wash it. If you do not want to use soap, it's absolutely fine. I wash my brushes just with water. Most of it comes out with just water. And But if you want to give like extra care for your brushes, you can use mild soap, wash it a little bit, and then clean it, dab it dry, and leave it horizontal. Don't store your brushes in a glass container like downwards. Okay, always either you put it upright or you put it in your pouch or in a drawer horizontal. Okay, so that is one point. Another thing is, one way you can reshape your brush. Okay, using once you're done cleaning the brush and you feel like your brush bristles are distorted or the shape is lost, what you can do is take a little bit of soap only and then place it and shape it properly. Okay, let's see for this fan brush, you can see how the bristles are frayed right after we wet it, right? So what you can do is take a bit of soap and then reshape it. Okay, just spread the bristles. Okay, then reshape it using that mild soap solution. Reshape it and then store it like this way. Okay, so the soap will hold the shape of the bristles. The next time you start painting, make sure that you wash up the soap and then you start painting. But this is a technique how you can reshape your brushes. Okay. Now, what happens if the paint dries on the brush? Okay, so for acrylic, it's absolutely fine because you're using not so expensive brushes. And even if it dries, I have a lot of old brushes which I still use for, different techniques. But yeah, if you want to, remove the old paint, what can you can do is you can dip it in nail polish remover or spirit, okay, alcohol spirit or warm water, but do not dip it for too long. And when you're dipping, make sure that you use like a bowl or a dish that is wider, okay? Not a glass. If you dip it in glass like this way, what's going to happen is your paintbrush is going to shape like this way. Okay, after 2 hours, it's going to look like this. So what you can do is using a dish with a, like a soup bowl or any dish which is wide open. You place it in such that only the bristles are dipped in, and don't place it for too much because spirit and nail polish remover can also disintegrate the bristles. So don't put it for too long, just enough to remove the paint. Also, warm water works well. I use more of warm water rather than the alcohol and nail polish. But yeah, do if there is any tough dried out paint, I do use alcohol or nail polish remover. But most of the time, I just use warm water and then just clean it. And again, you can reshape it with the soap, like I told you before. Okay, so these are some techniques, once you start painting that you can use. You don't have to get too overwhelmed with brush care in the case of acrylic, because one, acrylic brushes are not that expensive. Okay, and you can even if it's little splayed out, or if it's not that great of a shape, you still can use it. The only thing is you need to know how to use it according to what you want to come out in the paper. So brush care is good if you want your brushes to last longer. Otherwise, don't get too overwhelmed thinking, oh my God, like how do I take care of my brushes? Don't have to worry about it, okay? So these are some, tips and techniques you can use to take care of your brushes, okay? So our takeaways for today, we discuss about brushes. We discuss even more regarding the surfaces also. That was good. So what you have to do is go to an art store, just go through the whatever brushes are available, or you can check online, buy a set of brush, experiment with different, strokes, practice different stroke. And once you know that you are, once you know that you're good enough to go for the next level, then you can select your brushes more carefully next time, depending upon the bristle type, depending upon the number, you can go and select it. Okay, so in more of art stores you can get these brushes like individual number wise and all, if you have like a big art store near you. But otherwise, if it's online and all, you get only mostly a mixed set and all. If you go to these specific art shops, you will get all kinds of brushes in all kinds of sizes. Okay, so find out such art stores and go there, just visit, you just explore and see what all are there. And the next time you want to level up your painting, go ahead and buy those. Okay, practice, all the most important thing is keep on practicing different brush strokes. You will understand how to hold your brush, how to load the brush, etc. Okay, and last is taking care of your brush. Acrylics, like I told you, you don't need to be extra careful, but if you want to take care of them and make it last longer, I have given you all the tips. Okay, so thank you all for spending your time to learn with me, and it's been a wonderful session. And if you all want to interested in going for more structured learning, we have courses and we have like an artistic discovery program. If you're interested, you can leave me a personal message and I will, give you the details of the program if you are interested. Otherwise, continue practicing painting, looking at different videos, tutorials, etc. Okay. So I hope this was an informative session for all of you. So let's wind up.